Solomon's supposed to swear at everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, come on! I'm trying really hard. Be nice.
Right. Let's just check that we are actually indeed live. Yes, we are. It's a beautiful picture of Zinzao
It's beautiful
on the
day.
screens. Just for Ruben. And talking of Ruben, Ruben is one of our featured guests on this episode of UoS Insight. Hello, Ruben, the master of being not very good at the game. How are you?
I am good. I'm good.
I thought I wasn't supposed to bully him.
And that was a good segue into someone who's only slightly better than Ruben, and that's Solomon.
Honestly, based on today's
What are you
games,
gonna say,
I'm not
Nick,
convinced
when he's
at
not
all.
here?
Okay.
Thought I wasn't going to get bullied on this podcast.
I never said anything about that. And the person you heard talking just before that is our God, our Lord Saviour. Amen.
I am the chairman.
Is Snowblind, our chairman.
I am the chairman.
The ADC who cannot play Jin to save his life. And the person you just
Wait,
heard
what do you
laughing
mean?
just then is Miss Swifty.
No, it's just Swifty now.
Oh, it's just Swifty now. Had a sex
Yeah.
change. Right, let's get into this. So,
I am no longer a trap.
on your screens, you can see, or on Twitch, you can see a nice splash out of Zinzao. Ruben, I'm going to let you say your piece now, so I can get out of the way and you won't complain at me anymore.
Why did they turn him into a Dynasty Warriors character?
Right, and that's it. Now, moving on, we'll go to our first topic, which will be revisiting the preseason predictions we had. So, I can't remember, is it RuneForge? RuneForge is a really good website.
Runes Reforged.
Runes Reforged, right. So, okay, let's talk about some of our predictions, although we can't find a podcast, so we're just going to try and do it off memory.
I mean, one of the big predictions was that Klepto was going to be nutty.
And
And
it
it
was.
did end up being nutty.
And it was.
It
And
was
then it got
absolutely
nerfed.
insane. So they got nerfed.
And now it's kind of only used by like 5
Malawi.
champions. in the game.
Israel still uses it.
Gangplank.
Fiora uses it, but Fiora will stop using it soon. But let's not get into that yet.
I'm pretty sure we all put Glacial Augment down as being completely useless. No, Spellbook as being completely useless.
No, apart from Kieran.
Mm.
Apart
Yeah,
from
Spellbook
Kieran.
got buffed. Spellbook
like
got
Spellbook.
buffed, didn't it?
The thing is, I think Spellbook was strong almost purely because of the 25% decrease, like CDR.
Yeah.
And like we didn't account for that. We just talked about the fact that it would like give you the change in abilities, and the actual change in abilities I think has been negligible. Like it's just been the 25% reduction that was the reason it was so strong.
That sort of happened when they nerfed the other keystones, and so it's like, why take, I don't know, price the attack when I can just take Unsealed Spellbook and get 25% summoner cooldown.
Yeah, it was actually ridiculous. Like people would take it and then never change their summoners. That's how strong it was.
So that runs into Inspiration. Let's go through Resolve. So I think before.
Wait, we're not going to talk about Stopwatch?
Alright, okay, actually, no, that is a perfectly good thing. Stopwatch. I can't remember what we said about Stopwatch. So there's a lot of changes. You could get Stopwatch and Magical Footwear in 2 separate categories, and they put it into one, quite rightly. And then people still took Stopwatch anyway, because they could get all the gold from it. So, what did
Then
you guys...
they made it so it only sold for 20 gold after that.
And which has sort of changed it a bit in games.
It was still taken even then they nerfed it so you can't use it till 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and now
that's
finally...
a massive change.
Yeah, it was set so that before you'd get it once level 6 came, so it gave a lot of outplay potential at the time and stopped you getting dived when that
But
power
in
spike
fact, it
hit.
does the opposite. It decreases outplay potential.
So what champions, what roles will be still going to Inspiration Tree, and which will be taking Stopwatch?
Some mid laners
I
take it.
think mid-laners
If you're
like
playing
Malva-
into a Zed or a Talon, there's still like a good reason to go perfect timing.
If you're going to go like build into the items that it builds into anyway, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it gives you the 15% reduction on them as well, which is pretty huge if you get it
Because
a few times.
because you can't use it till 10 minutes, I think you only get it now if you're building Zonias. Even if
Yeah.
even if you're against a
Or
Zed, you
GA.
still, yeah, even if you're against a Zed, you won't build it unless you're getting the thingy.
Okay. Ruben?
I mean, personally for me, like I don't really like magical footwear because I like to go boots early game anyway. Like I first back boots sometimes, but
It's like one of the most goal
So I
efficient
will-
ones, but I agree. Like sometimes you just want to go boots really early, and it just
it's
It
just because I
slows that
roam.
right down.
It's just the roaming potential.
Right. So, yeah. So magical footwear is not favoured too much if you want to roam because you can't get boots early. You're a bit restricted. And again, stopwatch is only really when you're building to Zonias. Are these bottom ones at all worth talking about? At all? Biscuit delivery.
I mean, minion dematerialize is very good.
It's a low elo's best rune.
we talked about futures market, and that was decent for a while, but it's
I do want to talk about a non-troll thing that I took up, taking minion dematerializer in the jungle.
no, that's troll, dude.
No, it genuinely it helped you get the when you
It
level
helps
3
you.
get top
It
lane.
doesn't help the laner.
No, but it helps you shove in that lane into the tower instantly. There's no chance for them to TP back on a minion or anything. And at one point there was a bug where you could minion dematerialize a minion being TP'd on.
Oh, really?
That only lasted like a day and a half, but it was great. Believe me.
Wow.
Right.
Everyone
I
trying to
think,
compete. Nope. Dematerialize.
I think Hextech Flash Traption's pretty good as well on certain champions. Like roaming supports love it. It's so good.
Alley.
What's the point? I don't get. I swear it's like the channel up on it is really big.
Well, you do it like over a wall. That tends to be the best. Like if you do it from like Raptor Camp into mid lane,
Yeah.
like they can't do anything at that point. And you can do it every 20 seconds. So you can go in, burn their flash, walk around to the other Raptor Camp, and just do it again.
You can use it to set yourself up to flank.
And there's been a bunch of bugs with it though. That's the bad thing from it. Like,
I mean, it was always going to be buggy, but
it had it's caused so many champions to have massively broken interactions that they've had to nerf like hotfix instantly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We played a 2v2 and someone had Hextech Flash Traption and it bugged out. So after he used it, he couldn't use his flash even when it was up.
Oh, dear
Nice.
God.
Yeah. So spaghetti code, good one.
And then Alley happened.
Then Alistair happened. Right, moving on because I feel we've covered inspiration.
I want to talk about Cosmic Insight
All right, go on.
because I go it pretty much like 7 out of 10 of my mid laners.
Is that because that one's good or because the other two in it are awful?
No, because it's good and it works really well with Transcendence.
Like I think it's good. Like it's not amazing, but I just think the other two in it kind of suck. They've just changed them, so maybe
The
they'll
other
start
two
thinking
do
more,
suck,
but-
yeah.
I feel like Time Warp Tonic has potential. It's going to be really niche, but some Korean person's going to figure out a way to abuse it.
I mean, to
Singed.
be honest, I could see it working on Aurelion Soul, but Aurelion Soul doesn't go Inspiration second.
Right.
Like, the extra pop strength early with Dark Seal and Corrupting Potion could be really good, but I think you sacrificed a bit too much to get it.
Okay, right. So now, can we move on to resolve? Any objections? Any at all?
Nope.
No. Right. Sweet. Okay. So
No, you didn't give us a chance to object.
yeah. No, screw you guys. So we got
It's been a bit boring, hasn't it? Like it's almost exactly what we said. There's just gonna be one good best like tank stream, and that's it.
which was Grasp of the End dying, but Bone Plating, the new one, has been pretty good. So
Oh,
I've seen
yeah,
a lot of
Bone
support
Plating
stake
is
up.
Pretty sad to play against.
Um,
Aftershock's really good.
Bone plating is actually pretty good.
Aftershock with bone plating like just completely shuts down any melee champion. Like
and they moved Font of Life into that tree as well, which I think is
I like that they put second wind on the same row as conditioning, because before you just take that and one of the armor bonuses if you're in a losing lane.
Mm.
Like imagine being able to get, say you're against a Teemo, getting second wind, mirror shell, and bone plating against him, or something like that, or against a Riven with iron shell.
yeah.
I think what they rearranged there was very good.
okay. So, but it still has kind of stayed. There's not much been happening. There's a bit of juggling around. I felt it was fairly balanced where it was. I don't know.
It was, and then they added the new one, and so the way they rearranged it to accommodate the new one was very good.
Okay. Right. Let's move on to sorcery. Any objections?
No, I go for it.
Sweet. You can tell what champions these people play, right? Sorcery.
Well, like Resolve is a pretty
Oh,
standard tree. It's just one
actually,
tank
wait.
group for
Do
every
you
team.
like-
We talk. Wait, what about the change to Aftershock?
Alright.
mean, it wasn't major.
It was huge.
Like it just meant that it could go on champions like Riven instead of like Hyper Tank.
Yeah, it became something like a flat 100 armor in MR though, which is really big.
I don't think it's still that, is it?
I don't know if it is.
pretty
It's
sure it's- yeah,
after
it's-
mobilizing an enemy champion, increase your current armor and magic resist by 70 to 120 for 2.5
so-
seconds.
70 though, like level 1. That's insane. 2.5 seconds.
It's not though,
you
because
just...
you don't really auto that much at that level. You don't have the attack speed to.
Top
True.
laners do.
Like it just basically like stops like 2 autos being damaged.
If you're in a tank melee matchup, top lane, you'll auto a lot.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it'll only block 2 autos and then that's it. Like
Right.
They
Okay.
can stack up a bit during laning.
yeah.
Right, now moving on to the next one, sorcery. So this should be a bit more interesting. Right, so we instantly called that Phase Rush was pretty pointless. Is Phase
Yeah, it
Rush
was.
still pointless?
No.
It's got a niche,
but
but no, for
It's
the
the
most part.
same as the. It's literally the same as how the Mastery was in the Masteries last year.
Okay, it was Storm.
Yeah,
It's
Storm Ranger
literally
Surge.
only used
Yeah.
by it's literally only used by like Aurelion Soul and.
But isn't it worse? Like, doesn't it do less and it's harder to proc?
It
is
does
harder
more,
to
but
proc,
it's harder
yeah.
to proc.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
range characters also get the slow reduction.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty meh before and it's pretty meh now.
But
I'm pretty sure we predicted sorcery pretty well as well, because I'm pretty sure we just said like summon area was going to be the general best one, and then if you could like
They
see them for Comet, that would be best. And
they nerfed Aerie and buffed Comet.
It's still
But
that way.
And now
though, like-
Comet is basically the staple one
I think
for
Ares
most
still
mid
staple.
for most mages anyway. For
Most
most
mages
mages,
have
you
CC
go
though.
Comet.
Like it
Uh,
just lines up.
I suppose it depends on your cooldowns. Like, if you're spamming abilities and you want Summon Airy just because you're going to get flat out more damage from it.
Well, summon area procs on autos, which is massive, whereas Comet doesn't.
Ruben, you're a mid laner. What's your take on the Keystones?
I honestly, I don't even know. I don't even play that much mid anymore, honestly.
Right. I'm glad I
Right,
brought you
cool,
on the
yeah, no,
podcast. Right.
Someone in there?
Let's move on down.
Do you have Streamlabs on?
No.
Oh,
I don't know. Stream that. Anyway, so we said, interesting. Let's jump to the bottom about Gathering Storm, Waterwalking, and Scorch. Right. I've seen majority of people take Scorch, but I remember Josh, you're saying
I don't.
oh my god! Thank you so much, Snowblind, for subscribing.
yeah, no one cares.
I
Right.
I actually take Gathering Storm now.
Well,
Pretty much every
I was
single
gonna bring that.
Scorch would be best
Jo-
on poke.
Josh,
champions.
Josh originally said that you'd have to take Gathering Storm just in case a game went that long, and
Pretty
if
much
you,
right. Most ADCs always take it.
yeah. So, is that still the case at this point?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was a while where you took Scorch on most champions just because Scorch was so strong, but like it's sort of evened out and everyone's just gone to Gathering Storm now, like almost every game.
It's the same for mid lane really,
Especially in like the last meta where we had like 90-minute games. It was so good.
and nobody goes water walking.
Do many
That's
mid
all.
laners go into the sorcery tree?
Um,
Sorry,
not-
ADCs.
not really.
ADCs.
Yeah,
Okay.
almost all of them.
Wait, did he just say not really for mid laners?
ADCs. I
The
meant
ones
ADCs.
the ones I play, I normally take inspiration on them.
Who do you play? Out of curiosity.
TF, Malzahar, and
But you'll be going unsealed spellbook with those sort of champions.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Veigar.
And-
Veigar
yeah.
too.
And so
Mm.
all right, for those kind of champions, why specifically not sorcery, and what do you go as your secondary
Okay.
tree?
Secondary, I take sorcery because the mana flow band.
So he does take
either
sorcery.
the ultimate mana flow band along with Gathering Storm.
Oh, okay, right.
There's the free mana, and a lot of those champions, their ultis are actually key points in the matchup. So
I feel mana flow band is like, if I go into sorcery, I almost always take mana flow band. It seems so useful.
but the ultimate hat would be useful on champions like TF that basically have free mana.
I've stopped going mana flow ban now as much as before.
How
Like
come?
like I find that a lot of the champions that I play at the moment, like Ultimate Hat, I can get a lot more out of. So like even with Zoe, like I go Ultimate Hat on Zoe just to bring the R cooldown down in order for more long range Qs.
When they
And
bring
like
down,
Galio, you want to go Ultimate Hat. Swain, you want to go Ultimate Hat because you want to get the ult off every single time.
Yeah, I mean these champions don't really have mana problems.
But if you're playing like, I mean, I was about to say Ori mana flow ban's good, but like Ultimate Hat, you want it for the ult. It's just
it depends on what you're looking to do in the game. If you're looking to go for the long haul, Ultimate Hat. If you're looking to snowball early, then Mana Flow Band would be best, I think.
The problem with Ultimate Hat that I found was that you tend not to get more than one ult of fight, regardless of if you have the Ultimate Hat or not. Because like it's still like a 30-40 second cooldown, and most fights are over by that time.
I suppose the difference is, say you're playing like a champion like Fizz. If you use Ultimate Hat, you can fall and use all the max cooldown runes. You can get his cooldown of his ult down to 35 seconds. If you find a pick with that ult, you can then force a team fight using your ult almost immediately afterwards. I think that's
you can just
the
burn a
bonus
bunch
of
of
it.
cooldowns on saving whoever you ult, even if you don't do them, I guess.
And I suppose on a champion like, say, Karthus, where your ult is such a huge like damage source, you want to up as much as possible because they're gonna try and team fight you when it's off, I suppose. So
a
Well, like,
lot of
Karthus
mid
is
laners
fast.
don't get mana problems that much anymore.
I think it's general. It's like I think it's skill level as well. It's just controlling like when do you use mana for.
Is that still tuned out of the Lost Chapter passive is changed?
Lost
Yeah.
Chapter has the same passive. It's just
Wait, does it still have it? I thought
Yeah.
they got
it
rid of it.
has the
The
passive.
same.
Like, didn't they have a whole like segment saying like how strong it was that you had to take it because
No, it's
like, it
because
gave the
the-
mana regen?
They made
the
Lost
new
Chapter even
item it
stronger.
builds into.
They just made it build into even more items because of that instead of
Yeah, they
Yeah,
also
now it
they
builds
also just
into
tossed
Ludens.
10%
It's
CD
why
out
it's
of it.
why Ludens is such a good first item now.
oh, that's so
Ludens
stupid.
is mandatory first item for any AP champion.
No,
I think
wouldn't say
no,
so.
Nearly.
If you're playing a poke mage, then yeah. But if you're
Ludens-
not, then I don't see the reason.
I
to
think
go
Ludens
for
is
it.
definitely the most bought mid lane item now as the first item. But
I mean,
with the
it-
changes, getting rid of Morella Nomicod and changing Leandri's, they've definitely made it so you have to open up your build path now.
I mean,
Yeah, in the patch notes, they're like Lost Chapter with its mana restore is a nice item for mages who want to sustain in lane, which makes it a good starting point for most mid laners. And I kind of took that as like we're trying to nerf it and change that so that we get more itemization. And then they're like, so we're gonna make all the items build out of that now.
pretty
what?
much
What?
close.
That's not how that works.
Like, I don't understand how a book builds into a staff, but alright.
That's like saying, oh, we've seen Doran's Blade is built on everyday ADC. Let's make that build into BT or BF or whatever. No.
Right, and on that very strong, impassionate note, any objections to moving on to domination?
No objections. Let's
Yeah, dominate me.
There we go, into the dominatrix. Right, so
Excuse me. This is a
What?
good Christian
Um,
stream.
I'm an atheist.
okay, I've seen Electrocute used a lot. Electrocute seems really useful.
A lot of mid laners go it as well.
Fizz,
Like Galio goes it.
Fizz
Zed.
takes it. A lot of the assassins take it, of course.
Yeah.
Grace.
What about these two? Predator, I really like for junglers. I've seen.
Yeah.
But what about Dark Harvest? Dark Harvest, I haven't seen the impact.
It's way too high risk, like medium reward to really be kind of
I
worth
think
it.
Yeah.
Predator
You only get
now
like
becomes
one proc
meta
in
on
like a team
Warwick.
fight.
You only take Dark Harvest if you can't reliably proc Electrocute. In every other case, you'll take Electrocute. And I can't think of many people who can not do that.
Well, like, what's the point in Dark Harvest? Like, you walk up, you proc it, and then that's your keystone gone until like you've stacked it up again.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
just like
If you don't
AFK
kill them in
farm.
one shot, then you don't have a keystone, which is just not good enough.
It's a keystone that says AFK and farm for 20 minutes. If you don't kill someone, you lost the game.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Oh no, because it gives a massive increase on that damage, and it stacks really well.
So I don't. All right, I don't understand it. Like, I
Well, that's okay,
thought
when you-
I thought, you know, there was, what was the old jungle item where it would just be you got stacks on it, and once you've reached like 50,
You mean the old
Feral
attack speed
Flare.
item?
Feral Flare, that was it.
Can we not have that back?
Right.
I mean, Kieran would love it, but we're not
Yeah,
having it back.
Feral Flare was
please.
amazing. I loved that item.
Yeah, I like Feral Flare. Right. Dark Harvest at first sounded something similar to that, but I think I've got the wrong end of the stick.
I mean, yeah, it did kind of sound like that.
How
Sort of.
how does it work, and what champions, if any, would take it?
So before you have 150 stacks of Dark Harvest, every time you kill a big jungle minion, or a cannon minion, or a champion, you get a stack, and you get basically a Sheen passive, and that Sheen passive sits on you for 30 seconds. Once you've got 150 stacks, then the passive lasts for, I think it's 3 or 4 minutes.
Isn't it bigger than that? Isn't it like 10?
I'm not sure. But regardless of what it is, like between 2 and 10 minutes, you're always going to get it off at that point.
Yeah.
So after you hit
Mira.
150, after you hit 150 stacks, that you basically get that off every time. Before that, you need to like take a camp before you do go to a lane or something to utilize it.
Okay. Right, that makes a little more sense. I'll probably have to use it to find out, but it doesn't
I
sound
think
like
it's
it's
supposed to be
worth
good on
using.
Graves.
Graves can also take electrocute though, which is just more
Yeah.
consistent.
Um,
It's hard because like anyone who procs Dark Harvest can also proc electrocute, and it's easier.
See,
Like,
Predator
maybe-
and Dark Harvest have like opposite problems. I think the main problem with Predator is that after you like the ganking phase, it doesn't do anything. Like once people are grouped, it's pretty pointless. Whereas Dark Harvest isn't good until like late game.
The best example I can give is a champion like Olaf would take Dark Harvest over electrocute, but he has other keystones that he'd rather take. I can't think of a champion that goes into the domination tree and can consistently do better with Dark Harvest and electrocute.
nor can I.
Cool.
And on that
Same.
note, that's like tied up in a nice bow. We looked at this next row with Sudden Impact, Taste of Blood, and Cheap Shot, and everyone went, Sudden Impact looks really good. All the
And it is.
all the other ones are trash, pretty much.
Sudden impact
Taste of
on
Blood is
Poppy.
good. Taste
Yeah,
of Blood I
Taste of
take
Blood
on
is
Nah.
decent.
So
But yeah, Sudden Impact was by far the best.
Yeah,
Sudden impact makes Poppy.
Taste of Blood is
equal
also
to the,
Is Taste of Blood the
initial
first
rework
auto one, or
Poppy.
is Taste of Blood the ability power one?
No, Taste of Blood is the one where you hit them and you get a heal, isn't it?
Yeah, so
yeah.
the first auto.
Cheap Shot is the true damage.
I've seen Swain's and Vlad's go Taste of Blood.
Yeah, I go if
Sweet.
so. I didn't feel like I was using Unsealed Spellbook that well, so I go into Domination for Vlad. I use Electrocute, Taste of Blood, one of the 3 ward things. It doesn't really matter, and then I use Ravenous Hunter.
Yeah, there was
Zombie
a
Warden.
there was a Bjergsen Swain rune page that he was playing with for a while, where he was basically just going mad healing.
Yeah,
With
In my
domination.
opinion, oh, go on.
Oh
Sorry,
no,
sorry,
go.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, that Zombie Ward is the strongest non-keystone rune.
Yeah, we said
It
that
is-
before, though, didn't we?
yeah. We said that. We said Ghost Power would be a bit useless, and the Eyeball collection doesn't really do much.
Yeah, they even nerfed Zombie Ward since then, and it's still like
Yeah. Well, especially because they nerfed it, but then they've like destroyed Vision, so
yeah, exactly.
it's got back to being really strong.
If you're going domination, you have to go it.
Zombie Ward, yeah. And in this final one, so we got Ravenous Hunter, which is healing based on damage. Its ability to dealt by your abilities, yeah. Relentless Hunter, which is movement speed. So I see a lot of junglers take Relentless Hunter.
I go it on Galio.
A lot of like assassins take Ravenous Hunter for their healing after they burst someone.
See,
Oh,
there's
what?
something with Ravenous Hunter that I didn't anticipate, and that's that it works with static shit.
Well, see,
So, like, there's some like you see some builds on some AD carries. I think Bane does it occasionally, where you take that, you take the what is the one on the top, the one that heals you on auto that we just mentioned, and like you have just ridiculous healing.
Taste the
all
Blood.
through the game.
Yeah.
Between those two, it's just like you don't die past like 20 minutes at all. Impossible.
Speaking of ridiculous healing, there was that one phase with the overheal and Fleet Footwork being insane together.
Well, it was that, and there was both AD carry and support were taking Blade Shield.
The other thing I want to highlight on as support player was Ingenious Hunter.
Yeah.
I really like taking Ingenious Hunter because the active item cooldown was just nutty. Like you get 40% cooldown on your items, which is like that's redemption. That's almost like up twice as much
Yeah.
as an opponent's support if they don't take it.
I think that rune is really, really good. It's just that there's other better ones for support available.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not actually entirely sure what they go, but I know they have to go zombie ward pretty much. Like, that's forced. I'm not sure what the other one is.
If you go into domination and you go zombie ward and ingenious, I don't see why you would take anything else. We need Anthony, but Anthony would be like, I don't really know. I just guess and just click random things, and
I mean,
that's my rune page.
speaking on behalf of Anthony, as someone who takes Predator on Alistair,
Yeah.
I think he would go Relentless Hunter, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he
Which
does.
is completely justifiable.
Yeah, because for roaming,
he's
I suppose.
gonna be roaming. Yeah.
Especially on champions like Bard as well.
Definitely
So
on bars.
you go Relentless Hunter, Zombie Ward, but for the most part, I think supports will stick with Zombie Ward and Genius Hunter.
Yeah, I like ingenious. Domination for me is my favourite tree. I'm gonna call him tree. Like, I think the separate, although the keystones may not be, some of them may not be too useful. Predator, when it is used, is just really fun. Like electrocute, that extra bit damage. I don't know. I just feel feels a bit more interactive than the other keystones. Maybe not as much as inspiration with the klepto, but like getting that extra like proc. The only thing I don't like about electrocute is the fact that you can ignite and it procs it. I think that's really stupid. Like,
I don't see that being a big issue.
I've been killed because of it. Like,
I have seen some weird interaction with electric.
Yeah, so-
and killing me before. So,
I mean, it makes sense that Ignite procs it. Ignite is an instance of damage.
yeah, it makes sense. But like sometimes you're like, you're out, and then you walk towards them, and then just like suddenly it procs, and you're like, oh, I've just died.
yeah, it's
Oh no,
not...
the big one for me is when it procs off of Z-ult, and it doesn't account for it in like the death mark.
Mm.
So it doesn't look like you're gonna die, so you don't bother healing or anything, and then electrocute procs, and then you die because of the electrocute. And it's like I could have healed and survived. That's the one instance.
I think it's not as clear as it could be. There was the other thing. Oh, that was it. Mana flow band. Mana flow band really annoys me. The fact that it doesn't have a cooldown. Like, I can't see a visual cooldown.
They've added a visual cooldown now.
Have they added it? Right,
I'm
sweet.
not sure if it's in this patch or if it's in the PBE, but they're adding it.
Good, because I saw a Reddit post and I was like, yes, please. Alright, sorry. While on the things I want added to the game, this is a really separate one. So you know how your health bar is a different colour, right? To
Yeah, on
everyone else's.
colorblind mode.
Yeah, on colorblind mode, right? But when like on the thing on the left, like you know when you can see your teammates and stuff, and on leaderboard you can clearly see where you are specifically. One of the thing which tilts me is on the mini map is the little line around your picture. Everyone's is the same color. Yours isn't differentiated out. I mean, most people know where they are, like
I have never noticed that
specifically.
before in my
But
life.
Yeah.
but for me, I noticed where I'd look down to see where people were, and like it's one of the good things which I think Dota does is everyone has separate colors, so you can look at the map and be like, right, like you just learn who's on what color, and then it's a bit easy. But I don't know.
think
I notice it because it's when I'm checking my map.
The
It's
reason Dota and the other those games do it is because they don't have a portrait on the minimap. They just have the color of the person playing.
yeah, no, that's true.
Pink
It's just
blob, brown blob,
it's like
blob, and so on.
it's like if you got this line around, at least differentiate where the player is. I don't know. That's me. I would
You
find
should
it.
make a Reddit post.
Yeah, I should.
No
I
one
would.
here can.
I would find it slightly useful. It wouldn't get upvoted at all, but at least I would be happy if Riot implemented it. Anyway, moving on to precision. Right, that's rant over. Alright, Pressy Attack was like, this is the best one. It's so good. Like, Josh was like, all the rest is
Still is.
garbage. Yeah, but I've seen a lot more people take Lethal Tempo, not Lethal Tempo, Fleet Footwork. That's the one.
You have to take it
Yeah,
that
so
one.
I remember what I said. I remember saying that Press Attack is probably the best one. Lethal Tempo was garbage, and Fleet Footwork had a niche. And then we went to a late game meta, so that niche like became everything.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that maybe the quotation mark buffs to Press Attack actually bring it back, because I like Press Attack. I think Press Attack's more fun
Yep.
than the other two. But I don't know. It feels a bit weird. I kind of wish it was like my dream is for it to be instead of like a free proc thing, it starts on like a low percentage, and just each time you auto, the percentage gets higher of how much extra damage you do.
I suppose that's harder to gauge for players if you're doing that against. It's like a
Well, like
sort of
the thing that would let
exponential
you
thing.
do is just melt tanks, and I kind of want it to be a melt tank thing. Like if you, bearing in mind it wouldn't be on you, it'd be on the opponent. So like if you suddenly swap targets, it's no longer stacked at all, so they don't get the
Okay.
procs. I want it to be on like a per opponent basis, so that way you can like
Uh,
it doesn't matter how fed their tank is. Eventually, you will kill them pretty
would
quickly.
it stack with Runans?
Runas doesn't stack.
No. What I'm saying is like, so your thing of as soon as you change target and then go back, it like changes, right? It goes. You have to build it back up.
because it
again.
doesn't work like that now. I don't think so. It wouldn't change that.
Okay, I didn't know that. I don't play ADC. Trash tier role. Right. Lethal tempo. Does it have any uses? And if so, is it Jinx? Does Jinx take lethal tempo? Because you can
Yes.
like get an.
Like
She can
I've
do,
seen.
but she can already break the cap, so she loses half of it anyway.
Don't like the Jinx passive and the Lethal Temple passive stack together, or
Well, no, but that, like the breaking the attack speed cap part of it.
yeah?
Jinx does that with her passive anyway, so it's basically just more attack speed.
Wait. Right.
No, I know, I
Cog-
know.
Cogmore, right, had a thing where his attack speed could go up to like 5 attacks per second,
Yeah,
and they changed it because they were like, "This is broken."
yeah.
So
I mean,
what they decided to do was, let's take a slightly more, well, she gets an assist, a far more mobile ADC, and break her attack speed cap because that worked so well last time.
Cogmore had it on a active ability. Jinx has to like do something to get it. It's not just a click of a button for Jinx.
Right. Oh,
And
Cogmore
also
had
Jinx
mixed
doesn't
damage.
Jinx doesn't get the extra 250 range with it as well,
right.
and percent max health shred as well. Five attack speed, doing 8% max health magic damage each auto, and being
And
an AD
mixed-
carry with physical damage.
and mixed
A lot
damage.
different
So.
from
Okay.
I don't know. I think my main problem with lethal tempo is that it feels weird, right? Because like whenever you do proper kiting, like you get into a flow of like right click auto, right click auto,
Yeah.
right click auto, and then suddenly if you have lethal tempo, you can suddenly do it a lot faster, and so it breaks that tempo, which just feels like bad. Like half the time when I have it, I don't actually auto attack any faster because I don't think I can. So I just keep running.
It's like a Rage Blade.
Doesn't it
Well,
give
Rage
you
Blade
like
is more
that-
general. Like it's more
Only
gradual, so it's better. But like
Yeah.
lethal tempo, it's like it's a couple of seconds, and then it's all at once for like a second, and then it's gone. It's like,
for that 1 second you just need machine gun fingers?
or you just stand still, and it's like.
Right.
I mean,
so,
I've seen
Depends
some
what you need
people
to cut
take
or
it.
not.
Like Callista kind of likes it, but it's just no. I don't know.
okay. The rest of these abilities, I know that wasn't it. Coup de Grace got nerfed.
I really want to talk about Presence of Mind and Coop.
Gone. Presence of mind.
Presence of Mind is like ridiculously good on some mid laners. Like it's
Kassadin.
ridiculously good on Aurelion Sol. It's ridiculously good on Kassadin. Really good on Cass. Really good on Azir. And you just go Coop with all of those, and it just buffs like all of their damage up. They're all DPS. They all get buffed by Coop, and then they get no mana problems in team fights because of Presence of Mind. It's like you just have an absolute field day as a mid laner with those two. If you're playing those champions.
Okay.
I mean, I can't speak for Aurelion Soul. I know Kassadin does really well with it, but the others don't seem to have mana problems that Presence of Mind fixes, in my opinion. I think Triumph is just better because 15% of your max health. That's really big. Getting that on a kill, I'd take over getting my mana back on Cassiopeia, for example. Something like
You'd be
that.
surprised though. You can run out of mana really, especially if you're using Seraphs in a fight. You can lose
With
your
the-
mana really quickly.
Right. So, but it's still alright. So it's still situational though, but it can be good. It's not like
I mean, it is good. It's not situational either. You just go it on those champions.
alright. In the next story with the Legend series, with the attack speed, the tenacity, and the lifesteal, I don't know. These just felt like old runes, pretty much. I don't know.
Tenacity's garbage. The other two are kind of weird because like
I like Alacrity.
Alacrity and Bloodline are both good, but it depends on like the meta. So you get some metas where it's all about just wait until late game, so you get like Triumph and Alacrity, And there's some gear where you just have to lifesteal your way through it. So you go Overhill and Bloodline. Like those two couples are the AD carry sets of runes.
Is
You go one or the other.
Tenacity not good at all?
I
None of
haven't
the
seen
carries.
any uses for it. I think most junglers that would want tenacity would just rather go into resolve and get the tenacity from there.
All right. Any more comments on that at all? No. Okay. Sweet. Next one.
That is literally just an ADC tier.
Pretty
I don't
much.
think I've seen any other ever take that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Cooped grass, cut down,
Coop, Cluck.
and last stand. I've never taken cut down and last stand because cooped grass just seems really, really good.
It's got some it's. Thing is, they nerf Coup, so the other cut down is decent as well.
It's
They're all
still
pretty
good, though.
decent. It just depends on team comps, but you have to think about
I
it, and
mean-
most people don't bother.
It's great for Karthus.
That's it.
Yeah,
Wait, for which one?
Coop.
cut down. Is it
Coup.
Coup or cut down? Which is the one that is whichever is a higher health champion than you? 'Cause
Cut
when
down,
you're dead,
cut down.
Everyone has a higher health than you.
Cut down.
I thought that one's pretty good too.
Right. Alright, so that sums up precision. Okay, we've done. Oh, we did the runes and it didn't take 2 hours. Sweet.
It took an hour, which is
Which
better than
is
the 4 hours.
slight-
And this was only us going over what we said last time.
slightly
so-
less time. I'll take it.
Well, that's the thing. We had a structure to go with. So
I mean, it's kind of weird that I think what they wanted from all these runes was it to be dependent on playstyle, and I don't think it is at all. I think it's even more linear than it was before. Every champion has one best set of
Alright.
runes, and everyone goes it, which is kind of odd.
Okay, so that sums up. That sums up the runes and the keystone changes, and what we saw and what we predicted. Let's move on to something a bit more exciting. I don't know. God, rune pages just bore me. I don't know. I just want to play the game. Anyway, Swain.
I really like Swain.
All right.
I have not played him since the rework, but I,
I think
haven't
he's okay
struggled against him.
honestly.
Okay.
He's not OP and he's not really bad.
He's balanced.
I
Basically,
don't
no.
think they should be buffing him though. I think he's one of those champions
They
that people
don't
need
need
to
to buff
get
him
used to.
anymore.
He's like an
They
Ornn
didn't
all
need
over
to buff
again.
him before.
If they keep buffing him, then he's just going to be ridiculous.
It's gonna be the second coming of Ornn, but with damage, even more
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, that.
He's kind of his set of abilities. I think is kind of annoying to play against. If you get CC'd at all, you're basically dead because he pulls you in.
And it's any hard CC as well.
It's literally any. It's ridiculous. Maybe this
Including
change it to
Blast
be,
Cone.
just a zone and they can buff him a bit more. But I think they have to be really careful with this champion because if he
Wait,
gets
if
strong,
you
then
hit
it's gonna
Blast
be-
Cone, he can pull you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Even if it's
complete-
you that blast cone.
Oh,
not
Fiddle Fear as well.
Yeah.
You can do it with Fiddle Fear.
Well, that's BS.
him. Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
Oh, the W's really fucking good. I the first couple of times I didn't realize until
Find.
until I had a long game. But
Fine.
the W does so much fucking damage late game. It's this massive long range fucking snipe.
Right. Okay. That's the W. The E is the weird projectile demonic hand, which goes forwards and then comes back.
Yeah.
Rooting.
I think that's kind of annoying in minion waves because it can be hard to see sometimes. So you just get rooted and then you get pulled in and then you die.
We were doing so
clever.
well. So the ult seems to be the same, just with a massive explosion at the end.
And it doesn't have a massive mana cost.
I'm just really worried that this champion's going to get strong, and then when he gets strong, he's going to be really obnoxious to play against as an ADC because you can't walk in that circle.
The ult's really good.
It's a massive circle that you just can't walk into.
And it's the
Sorry
fact
about
that you can Zhonya's and it still does the old thing where if you Zhonya's it still heals you.
Yeah. I don't know.
I suppose that's a very Swain interaction, so it'd be a bit upsetting to take that away from him in his kit.
But he's definitely a scaling champion.
Champion.
His early game is really not that great. Unless you're getting a gank, like if you're in a 1v1, you're not really gonna do too well.
This whole rework's been a bit underwhelming for me though. Like he basically does exactly what he did before. There was no like.
Yeah, there's nothing
Oh,
like
I don't
new
think it-
apart from the passive.
I
Like,
don't think he was in that bad. I feel he was a fairly unique champion beforehand anyway.
Well, like normally they rework champions
kept
because
his
they're
identity,
toxic to
which
play
is-
against.
They just made him a sexy old man.
Well, it's
And I don't
not,
think he was.
it's no, all right. It's I felt it was more his kit felt a little outdated. I think
guess.
I
I don't
think like all right. My example is so take
is it because he had a point and click?
that's one thing, but also like I'm trying to think. Okay, like take old. I mean, Science rework was huge, but take old like Scion and how he worked.
Yeah, but old Sion was kind of toxic because he just like full AP Sion was ridiculous. He just QUW and you died, like no matter who you were.
Yeah, but it still wasn't that effective.
What do you mean?
Right, yeah,
Do you not
because
remember the whole dirty Sion picker thing?
yeah, but if it was
Are you
that,
not up to date on your Scara memes?
if that was if it was that successful, it would have been played far more.
It was.
If it wasn't.
It was that successful. It was played that
It
much
wasn't.
back in the day. It really
But
was.
how far back are you going, old man?
Like season 1, 2.
Yeah, there we go. That's why, right?
He was
Like-
ridiculous.
Alright, you have to remember that's almost 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah, but
Right.
like he
That's
was
a lo-
reworked
that's
a
a
while
long
ago. Now.
time.
When was the rework?
The rework is in season 4. So anyway, my point is, some kits from champions like Cho'Gath kind of bugs me because his kit is so simplistic in its nature,
3 years
and
ago.
I feel they're sort of going through champions, and like Swain's was like, well, the ult seems like a good idea, which is why it's obviously stayed. But they've gone, well, how can we make the rest of his kit seem a bit more interesting rather than like a glorified Cho'Gath Q and the weird bird laser thing. I mean,
I, don't know, I
like,
think the old snare was
A weird
easier
bird
to play
laser.
around than the current one.
yeah, no, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I feel it's they didn't change much because I felt the champion worked. It just needed to be brought into the new era, so to say. I don't know.
I mean, the old way to play around Swain was to avoid the 2 skill shots he had, the Q and the W. Whereas now the way to play around him is don't stand in the big circle at all, and if you do, you die. And it's like, that's a big ass circle.
What, the W?
No, the old.
No, the ulti.
Oh, the ult. Yeah. Okay. I get that.
I don't know.
I feel it's too. I feel it's too.
So
I feel,
much damage.
I think it's too early to say. I think
It is.
Maybe I just haven't played it against enough. Maybe, like, can you just, like, proc it at any time, like, once you've started the ult? Or do you have to, well, can you use the second part of the ult, the demon flare, whenever you like, or do you have to, like, wait
No,
until
it has like a charge up.
charged up? Okay, maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I should just, like, run in there and try and kill him as soon as possible, or something. But
Yeah.
whenever I played against him, like...
But he has
you know,
healing.
someone
Like,
confident.
if you don't kill him when you're trying to do that, you're gonna get absolutely slaughtered. Especially when if
Well,
you're
yeah,
running
this is what
towards
happens.
him, it
Like,
means you're getting towards
Yeah,
his Q,
I don't know.
and you don't want to be in like right on top of him when he can Q you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about if he comes really strong, so I don't know. He's kind of fine now, I think. He just...
Winter Daddy Swain.
He's fine. Like I said, he's not OP and he's not too bad.
Yeah, we'll see. I
Like-
guess we'll see once he becomes like competitive viable. We'll see him then.
People that play a lot of
him.
him will probably be able to get stuff done.
Okay. Let's move on to Kasa.
Kaiser.
Yeah, but if you say
Kaiser.
Kaiser, it sounds like the
Kaiser.
German dictator.
Yeah, but how's Karzik spelled? Is it Kai or is it Ka?
KHA.
K.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I was wrong on that one.
Yeah, it's like Kai.
Where does this champion play?
It's
It
supposed to
can
be
be
a
played as
marksman,
a
so
carrier or a
it'd be
jungler.
ADC or... It's got like scalings on everything, so
You can play him
They've made it one of those
AT,
champions.
AD, or hybrid.
which is just a terrible idea every time they've done this.
Wait, done
Every
what?
time they try to make a champion work in multiple roles, it's always failed.
I could see her being a jungler.
I legit just said jungle.
So,
you did? Okay,
so
sorry.
as a
But yeah, I agree with you, Ruben.
I have not actually seen anything on this champion. I've been trying to avoid it.
It's actually it's a bit confusing, honestly. Her abilities,
Yeah.
How so?
like because she has basically homing missiles.
Right.
She has a passive, one of her abilities where if she gets over like a certain attack speed cap, she basically gets a mini Vayne ult. She has an ability, a long range snipe. Imagine a Swain snipe with a little bit less range. Like imagine half the size of mid lane. If she hits you, she can dash towards you immediately.
What's this? Riot released a champ with an overloaded kit.
Yes.
She's got no CC.
It's
She's
like
not
this-
overloaded.
It's like we just had a new champion released. It's really overloaded that just had to be nerfed.
And she comes with a Vel'Koz passive, pretty much.
She actually looks pretty terrible to me. I think. Like I think she's gonna be like a bad Vayne.
Yeah, I looked at it and I went, it
No,
doesn't seem
she-
like she does that much.
She's gonna be an assassin Vel'Koz, in my opinion. Like,
I think she's gonna become a mid laner more than.
Yeah, but there's
Vayne.
there's always like with like, and I remembered every single champion which has ever been released while I've been playing the game, which is when I started playing the game, Zack had just came out, so that was 2013, I think. So that was like
excuse me.
4 or 5 years ago. I remember every single time you'd look on Surrender at 20 or whatever and look at the champion stats and go, that's broken, that's OP. That's going to be so broken. Like, I remember when Yasuo, everyone was like, what? A wall which can block abilities? What is this? And everyone was like panicking and they were like, he goes double crit? Ah! And like going all like, their brains just melted. So, looking at this, like, you compare it to Zoe, the ability to one-shot pretty much any squishy champion instantly. I don't see, and none of those abilities to me look like that Yasuo Windwall, like Zoe's Q, like any of the other champions we gone. Yeah, that's gonna be broken.
She reminds me of
she-
Akali.
Yeah, a worse version of Akali.
No,
Akali's a
I wouldn't
burst
say worse.
mage.
I wouldn't say worse, honestly.
Right, like, because one of the problems I have with the whole killer instinct jumping at people, right, is that feels so.
No, the thing
Like,
is, she
alright,
she
okay.
maintained her.
Okay, let's say she's a marksman, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Josh, when is there ever a time that you want to jump? I don't know how far that is, like a length of a Vel'Koz queue, directly into an enemy, without your team. Like,
I mean, it procs off of any allied CC. So the way I see it is your enemy, like your team, is gonna like heavy dive their backline, and you're gonna be able to dive with them. That's the way I see it.
What's this champion scalings? Do you think they'd fit in as a bruiser top lane, especially with the new Keystone coming out soon?
So the way she works, each one of her abilities has a secondary effect that you unlock once you've got a certain amount of AD for Q, attack speed for E, and AP for W. So you have to like build a certain amount of AD or attack speed to get these like actual abilities, basically.
Well, could that be satisfied with one item, like
No,
Triforce?
it's a lot by the look of it. Like it's basically like 2 or 3 items, I think, from what I've seen.
Has she got any percent max health damage or current health damage?
No, I don't believe so.
I see. Well, all I'm thinking is if she can unlock an ability.
What does her 4 proc do? Her Q, her passive. She has
bonus damage, I think.
Is it just straight damage?
based on the target's missing health.
Oh,
Yep.
so she does have missing health. Excellent.
I can see her going Triforce Bulk full tank or something. Based on what I've heard of these skills, I haven't
Well,
seen her
apparently
in
she's pretty
abilities.
weak in the early game from what people have been saying on the PvE. So
I
you
can
have
see
to
her
like,
as a
Oh, wait,
jungle
That's
assassin,
fine for
honestly.
top lane because you have a range to melee advantage.
yeah.
Wait, so
Well, it seems
wait,
like with this
there you
full
are. You
proc-
can have a look.
It
I'm
seems like with
looking
this
at them
4
on the
proc, you
stream.
have to go
Alright.
Rage Blade. Like
So-
Rage Blade is gonna be like must burn her.
All right, so this is a Q, a Cathian Rain. Right, let's get the sound effects in there.
Now make it rain.
So that's
Yay.
that second one is when you get enough AD, I think. Yeah,
But you
Says
can
a
do
lot
that
more.
while autoing. That doesn't stop
Alright.
you autoing or anything.
So it just does like double damage.
and this is her passive. All right, I will get onto her attacks animation in a second. I detest it, but
I don't
Um,
like it, honestly.
like, and so this is a W Void Seeker. So you know, like
So it's like a
Rek'Sai.
5 proc. You have to actually hit it the 5th time to get it. Though.
Alright, that's...
Revealing the first time it
missing
hit.
health damage, that's going to be an execute.
And then you can dash towards them at one point.
With enough bonus ability power, Voice deals more damage and partially refunds the cooldown on champion hit.
Whoa, that was a huge chunk.
What, the passive?
The W... The first one doesn't do much damage, and in the second instance, the Rek'Sai gets like...
That's with enough bonus
Bear in
ability
mind,
power.
the,
That's the
yeah, you
that's
have
the
to build AP to get that.
that's the upgraded one. Alright, so it
There's
is
a lot of AP to get
supercharger.
that.
This is alright. This is why I hate the attack speed and like the animation for auto attacks. I don't like that.
I've just seen on stream what you're talking about. That's really funny.
Yeah, I hate it. It just like it's I can't even explain it. It's like I don't know what it is. I want to say anime, but it's not even anime. Like it's just
Please not.
Do not
It's just-
offend me like
it's
that.
just I don't know. It's just you know
There's no explosions.
you know when you're like 6, right, and you're watching a TV show, you'd find that cool, but then as soon as you get past that, like it's like someone took Equilibrium with what's his face in it? Is it Christian Bale? That's his name.
You're getting really
Yeah.
hung up on this E
Right.
animation.
Yeah, alright, it's like they took that and went, oh, yeah, that's sick. Let's do an attack animation with that, where you can cycle through all 4, like, insanely quickly, and it bears no it's just so... Anyway, right, let's move on. Sorry,
Right, let's see
I'm
the
getting
answer.
hung up. This is what... okay, just spoil it. This is what gets me. It's like attack animations, walking animations...
This is why you're the host and not the actual.
the mini map colors, and there's one more. I can't remember what it was. I raised it earlier. Anyway, it's somewhere in this podcast. Right. Anyway, so the Kaiser dashes at extremely high speed with long range to a location near an enemy champion marked with plasma, and briefly gains a damage absorbing shield. So from range, she has to land her W first to be able to do it.
Does this champion have any hard CC? You said no, right?
No.
No
Any
CC,
slows?
so not even soft CC.
But she turns into Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which you can go and visit. So
wait.
this
Without-
ulti is
without
really
that.
weird, right?
That's
This ulti is a dash, right? It's not like a teleport. It's a dash. So that means you can actually like. There's been some weird tick issues with it. Like you can ult through Scion if you get lucky, like Scion's ulti,
Whoa.
because the tick it's like 50-50 because of the tick rate.
Can you
It's
time
actually
it?
faster than the tick rate.
I would like to see what's the cooldown on it, because
I think it's kind of long.
Imagine it's like a Zoe Yoda like type of cooldown.
Right, with no CC at all,
Surely
yeah,
not that low.
she won't be seen as a top laner.
I think she's just gonna be Vayne 2.0. Like she's gonna get some play. She looks pretty fun to play, but
A lot of kite.
like, what does she bring other than just damage? Like, if there's
Nothing,
ever a
so-
utility meta, she's never gonna be in it. Yeah.
Maybe she's just gonna be a late game hyper carry.
I
Like,
mean,
Double
she
X said
has
she's
she
really
has
fun,
utility
but-
in her
I
damage
think
because it can go magic damage or physical.
mid game, honestly.
Yeah, this is why I mean. I think she's just gonna become a mid laner more than a bot laner. Which
No,
will
I think she's
actually-
gonna be a jungler, honestly.
No, she has no slows.
She has nothing. Red buff, I
If
guess.
she, like, you see Kindred jungle barely, and that's because Kindred has that slow and a dash as well. And it's like it's really easy to gank with Kindred.
Imagine
But
a
this
Paradise,
this
you can do
champion,
it
I'm
with
just
all
I'm
the
just yeah, I'm not seeing it on this champ.
I don't know. Maybe
Then again-
like
Graves has no CC at all really, and he's a jungler, so maybe. But then again, Graves has his smoke screen, and
I just feel a bit underwhelmed.
I think she's just gonna be a mid lane. Like, imagine that ult coming in from mid lane to bot lane. Like
And you just,
after
like-
you CC'd them. Like,
Oh
that's,
god.
that's a pretty big dash to just suddenly appear in the middle of.
Yeah.
bot lane.
you do need to. They need to be marked by plasma first for it to.
No, but the mark by plasma could be any CC from your team.
What's the
Oh,
radius?
okay, right.
So
What's
it's
the range of the
massive.
plasma
It's pretty
passes?
huge.
Mm.
Can you be from one side of the map to the
Oh,
other
yeah.
and get plasmid?
I don't think it's one side of the map to the other, but it's like it's pretty big.
Oh yeah, but it's
Imagine
nearby allies immobilizing effects, so it depends on the range of it. It's not all immobilizing effects.
Wait,
Like even
okay.
if you're just in Tribush and you can do it straight from Tribush. that's
damn it,
pretty big.
James.
Imagine you're in pit, the enemy's in pit and you're in mid lane. Would it be able to?
I don't know.
I don't know. This champion will be one that just like if she comes out and her numbers are big, she'll be busted otherwise.
Anyway, so that's the new champion. What's
I
all
wonder
right?
if you-
All right. Overall thoughts. If I give you a scale of as useless as I'm trying to pick a. I'm gonna say as useless as old Yorick.
No counter.
As underwhelming as Ornn post nerf. As balanced as
Flux.
I can't even think of a balanced This game is so bad. Right. As balanced as Thresh. As strong, as slightly strong.
This is a terrible scale.
How's this a terrible scale? This is an amazing
Why
scale.
not just a 1 to
As
10?
as slightly strong as. I don't know.
One of your measurements on this scale
Already
is
Soul.
slightly strong.
As
Mate.
as broken as
AP.
Release Zoe.
no, I was gonna go all the way back and release Twisted Fate, but we can do release Zoe.
I was gonna say release Diana, but whatever.
Released Aatrox.
On
Alright.
a scale from apples to Mars, it's a solid orange. There you have
That's
it.
good. Right, so on that scale, so is it old Yorick? Is it Ornn post nerf? Is it crap, what was the one I said was balanced? I've forgotten already.
Terrible.
Right, or is it alright, okay, basically, is it old Yorick or is it Zoe on release? What do you think it's gonna be?
From what I've seen on the PBE, she's completely average in everywhere at the moment. So
True.
So whatever champion I said, which was Slapdown Thresh, that was it. That was the one.
Right.
Thresh.
But she's not even slightly strong. She's just average.
Yeah, so
We're gonna be here all night.
right.
Okay. Now,
I think-
who's Cassidy's wife?
It's going to depend on what Keystone becomes the main to take on her.
actually, I wonder how
What-
the new keystone
what-
is with her.
What is the new keystone? What you keep mentioning? What is it?
It gives you a
Um,
bunch of flat AD, and then
It gives
it,
you 10 to 60 AD well in combat, and if you're a melee champion,
that
you
buff
gain-
refreshes instantly on any champion auto attack.
yeah,
Damage.
and you gain 20% of your damage becoming true damage.
Like all your damage,
What?
20% turns to true damage. It's going to be nuts, I think.
So Darius,
What?
for example, if he fights
Oh,
you, he gets the 60 bonus at say 30 at level like 8. He gets 30 bonus AD, which is doubled by his passive, so 60 bonus AD, and then 20% of his true damage on his autos, and his Q, and his thingy tick become true damage.
And that thingy
Oh, dear
tick,
God.
as long as that thing is ticking, will keep
He
him-
gets his permanently fresh thing.
So it's
Yeah,
permanently
I said all
refreshed.
this.
As long as it's ticking.
Like he
gets
will
the
keep
tick
you
in.
off the wave for a good. I think his tick lasts like 6 to 8 seconds or something. So plus 4 to that is about 10 seconds where you cannot walk up to your wave.
Right, that sounds
I
fun.
don't
and
see that
balanced.
going through. Imagine like early game Draven with that. It's going to be nuts. 20%
Don't tell this to Nick.
damage to true damage. We've already had this conversation.
Draven doesn't get the true damage.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't. He's a ranged champion.
No, he gets it. The range champion thing is only the refresh on it.
No, ranged champions don't get the true damage.
I swear they do.
Fight,
Let me check.
fight.
Where is it? Where is
fight,
it? Surrender
fight,
at 20?
fight. I think you should have a
April.
1v1 to decide who's right.
That's
Oh,
not
I need
how
to
it
write
works,
the thing.
But I'm
I need
happy
to write the
1v1ing Josh.
I feel for the speech we should give we should do a lottery, and
Caitlyn will win automatically, but apparently.
Whoever
alright.
wins the lottery gets to make the speech.
No. Each person who wins, because we'll do there's 10 winning slots, right? Each person which wins gets to write a
Line.
line of the speech,
Ooh.
and you're only allowed to see the line beforehand when you write your line.
Alright, no, you're right. It's melee champions just get the refresh. Ranged champions don't, but they do get the true damage. I think that's debatably worse, not getting the refresh on that. So you have to wait the cooldown after the 4
I mean,
seconds.
yeah, the refresh. What is the cooldown? Does it say the cooldown?
It doesn't say a cooldown, but you have to be in combat.
Like if the cooldown is long, then it won't be that great. But like,
I imagine it's gonna look similar to Grasp, so like 12 seconds, 8 seconds, something in that range.
just imagine like An extra 20 AD early game on Draven running at you with true damage. Oh, that's scary.
It's just that it doesn't refresh on range champions.
Yeah. So it's only 4 seconds.
So I think you'd rather want press. Yeah, you'd want press the attack because 4 seconds is enough to proc press the attack. So instead of 20%.
Pressing attack's kind of garbage, though, isn't it, Phil? Like,
No, there's that table I made for you that shows the damage, and it's only going to go up from that. But the thing is, the reason people aren't taking press the attack right now is just because of fleet footwork. And so I don't know if Conquer is going to be enough to get rid of fleet footwork.
And press attack is garbage.
What tree is
It
this
was
going
better before and
into?
they didn't take it.
Precision. Hello?
Huh?
Say again.
What tree is this going into?
Precision.
Precision.
Yellow one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need to say the yellow one. I know what it is. Like,
Just checking, buddy.
right.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, let's. How long has this been going on for? I haven't actually been checking.
Around an hour.
Hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Sweet. There we go. Sorry, I just had to change something so it appears on stream. There we go. Right. Let's move on to the too long. Yeah, I agree. This is a boring game. Let's talk about CS. That's a good game.
Why don't you go play
I'd
CS?
love to
Alright,
talk about
All
some
right.
CS.
Next thing is let's talk about the.
I mean, all of these.
The last one. All right. Last topic before we sum everything up is item changes. So we've seen Sight Stone like disappear.
Yeah.
Rest in
that's
peace.
pretty big.
Tracker's
no
knife
more
disappear.
trackers now.
Rip.
Rest in
And
peace.
and
Rest in peace.
and AP item changes, including the return of my favourite item in the game, Twin Shadows. So
Illegal
happy.
garbage.
So happy that's back. I love that item. So yeah. So what's your? Alright. Alright. I'm gonna leave. Alright. Solomon, sum up the support changes.
The support changes. Would
Yeah.
you want me on the tracker's knife change?
Yeah, but I don't think anyone. Alright. Josh is an ADC. Sum up the support changes.
They just removed Sight Zone and put the Sight Zone passive onto the top level of support items now.
and so what does that mean? Expand. Elaborate.
It means supports have more gold to play with.
And it means the
Yeah.
passives from the old support items are being moved to actual items again.
Okay.
Like Twin Shadows.
So
being
Sharetta's
added.
Revelry has come back, Twin Shadows is back. I guess Relic, that one isn't needed because you have like...
Twin
Rocket and
Shadows
stuff.
is pretty much a support item. It's not good enough
Yeah.
for mid laners.
Yeah, it's not great on the apparently.
It's only what 60 AP, I think.
60 AP.
It's not really a lot considering. Like loot. Well, what is
It's
the
kind of a
recipe?
cheap item
For,
though, right?
what is the recipe for Twin Shadows? I know it's. Does it still give? It gives you move speed. I think it's a blasting wand as well.
I don't know. Is this the new AP items, or well, the AP item changes? Correct. Yay? Nay?
Yes.
Yay.
All right, sweet. Thank
We're
you.
talking about Twin Shadows right now.
Yes.
We haven't gotten into the fact that all the mid lane items changes.
My favorite item. Twin Shadows is the basically what Frost Queen's claim was, which is the activatable where it sends out those two very poor looking ghosts. I'm gonna see if they've got a picture. I doubt they have a picture of it. There it is. I love this item. Does that actually have a video of it? It doesn't have a video of it. Right. And it sends out two really badly textured ghosts and animated ghosts which fly out and whoever they hit gets slowed. And it's quite a big slow. I like it on if I'm ahead on like someone like Janna or something, it's like just fun to chase people down with to catch up to them. And then you can W them and slow them even more and no one's getting away from that. It's two spooky ghosts. Like maybe see, this is why I don't need to play Five Nights at Freddy's. I should just play League of Legends. It's got the ghosts. It's got the spooks. Yeah. Please don't make me play that game again. Right.
You don't have to play that game again. You're playing Outlast next.
Oh dear, that's even worse. I don't know.
You can do Amnesia if you prefer.
I
So
think
it's 16.
I might be better
Right,
with Amnesia.
other items.
Emily
What do people
Emily
think of
wants to
Spellbinder?
play.
Emily.
I think that's the name of the game. Emily wants to play.
Oh no, yeah, no.
I really like Spellbinder, but
Right, we're
I've
having two
seen some
different
people just
conversations.
dumpster me with it. Like,
What?
I've seen
Oh,
people
yeah.
just
if you're
come up
ahead and you go it, you
with
can
2 items.
you can just absolutely dumpster people if you're ahead with
What is? How does it work? What does it do?
It stacks up after spellcast. You get like if you do like 100 spellcasts, then you get 100 AP and then 30.
Not just you, anyone in
percent
the game in
movement.
range, ally and enemy.
Yeah. And then for like a short time, you get like 100 AP and then
It
30%
feels like
decreasing movement speed.
it feels like a new DFG.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay.
It stacks up a lot slower than like it's like
Yeah, definitely.
quote unquote
But it gives
cooldown
you
is
a-
pretty long.
It gives you a movement speed boost as well. I could see Annie taking that.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I don't
Right.
know, I'm not really a mid laner.
What about Tracker's Knife? So fill us in on that for shizzle.
In high elo, it's definitely an issue.
Yeah.
Taking Lee Sin and putting him to the side for war tops. When you're playing Sedrani, for example, if you don't see a gank, you place a ward and you just leave. And with the blasting cones being changed, actually, with the change to the blasting cone, so you can't hop over the walls early game because of the outside ones, it's much harder to get off a level 3 gank, and it's delayed by about 10 extra seconds, depending on which path you're taking. So the removal of Tracker's Knife doesn't... It's definitely bad. It's definitely bad. But they've made it slightly harder to gank as well. So removing Tracker's Knife makes lanes easier to gank by the enemy, but the way they've changed the jungle means it's harder to gank slightly.
So
Overall, as long as you have your Trinket Ward, you should still be fine in the laning phase. Because
Well, I was watching Froggen the other day, and he was saying that mid laners are going to start going the support item just to get wards.
Mid lane, you have 2 sides to worry about, but top and bot, you should have a rough idea where the enemy jungler is, and you have 6 minutes of wards at any given time, so you should never really be struggling. And the only, I guess as a jungler, you'd kind of have an issue because you'd have to keep your Trinket Ward to do deep wards in the enemy jungle. But if that's the case, you can just have the mid or top swap to the other sweeper, and you keep your Trinket Ward. It's bad for tanks. It's not an issue for anyone who didn't build it anyway, like
and for
Warwick.
vision control.
That's the thing. Tanks were the ones who built it for vision control, and it was done in pro play all the time. But solo queue is a completely different story.
It'll be really interesting to see how it affects pro play once it gets to that. Because I don't think it's out on pro play yet, is it? Comes out this week, I guess.
I mean, Sam in Null games was really feeling the difference.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
in
was
dual
feeling
games
it
it's
He
massive.
was-
It's massive in team fight in like
Because he
team
couldn't
games.
walk up at all to clear pinks in like dragons, so we just gave up dragons. Like it was ridiculous.
Which is why I think it's good that this week Kieran's going to be... I know we're going a bit off topic, but I think it's a good thing that Kieran's going to be jungling because he's more aggressive.
Yeah, I
He's
found like
not as
aggressive
much of
junglers
a
are going to come back.
vision-centered.
I don't know if the changes are going through, but there was the thing about pink smite being a thing now,
Yeah.
which is blue smite but pink, and it has a pink ward charge on it. And since a pink ward is permanent, you have the chance to. It has. No, it's definitely going to be better than Tracker's Knife. You get to keep the smite active, and you get a pink ward instead of 2 basic wards.
It'll be interesting to see. Definitely.
Like at the very worst, you're clearing a ward with that, so it's 1 for 1.
I mean, whatever happens, like whenever there's vision changes, is that if there's not a lot of vision, 1v1 champions in the jungle come back because you can. It doesn't matter if you walk into a bush where the enemy jungler is because you can just beat. So we might see that again. Oh god, Kha'Zix with it, with no vision and his ulti. Oh god. he's
yeah,
really
I've seen. I mean, again, low elo, but I've been seeing Kha'Zix a lot more. And it's I agree with Kieran. It's one of the issues with how League handles invisible champions, like with the changes with camouflage and stuff and camo. That's pretty good, but like I don't know, in Dota that like you can get that gem of true sight. I can't remember what it's called, and it
Yeah,
takes
Gem of True Sight.
yeah, it sits in your item and it basically prevents any champion from going invisible around you.
But that's
but
because
that
in
drops on
Dota you
death,
have
doesn't it?
smokes, which are pretty big.
Yeah, I mean Dota's a very different game, but like
Yeah.
I would like to see maybe more.
I'm not sure if it works the same in Dota as it does in Hon, but does that gem not drop on death?
Yeah, it
and the
drops on
enemy can
death.
pick it
It
up?
does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it works exactly the same. But I wouldn't want to see the same thing, but I'd like to see some. Like
I think
it frustrates me like with supports how that you have to like you need to buy control wards, but it basically means you can't buy 6th item. Well, 5th item if you got boots.
I'd really like Dust to be introduced. Just that AoE reveal camo.
They have that in the
Rewards.
3v3 map.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
do something like that. That would be really good on Summoner's Rift.
Interesting.
I like to see
'Cause that
Snow.
could be used to spot wards as well. That could be like if they just changed the red trinket to be more.
Yeah, I would either have it so that it doesn't spot wards but spots invis, or it doesn't spot invis but spots wards.
I don't know.
So
It'd
just
be-
a one-time red trinket that you pay for, or something that will let you find a Teemo and a Carly, a Shaco.
Thing is, I think the invisibility is more of a problem on some champions than it is on others. Like Vayne, whole like thing is that she can use that to 1v1 people because they can't auto attack.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. And like, I don't think Eve's invisibility is that busted anymore. Like, I think she's pretty balanced at the moment. But like some champions like Kha'Zix,
Kha'Zix is
get
annoying, but he's not an
insane
issue really.
1v1 ability just because of it. And like,
But his 1v1 ability doesn't come from that, it comes from his Q dealing isolation damage, really.
well, you just can't. Like, I played like Kane versus him, and I just couldn't auto him back at all.
But Kane is a really weak jungler compared to Kha'Zix until he gets his second form. And then when Kane goes blue form, he one-shots it. He's probably the fastest killing
Yeah.
assassin. If he goes red form, he's just tanky, but can't 1v1 Kha'Zix. It's one of those things where you should just never be alone versus Kha'Zix. His invisibility is annoying more than anything else.
Yeah, but like his invisibility is more annoying than it is on other champions.
But the other thing I'd also say is one of the really strong things, which I remember Kieran highlights a lot, is Twitch. I don't know how strong Twitch is at the moment, but the whole we saw, was it Rec? Oh, I can't remember when it was, but Reckless was really good, where he would just split from his team, Q, run bot, and then just 1v1 the bottom the top laner who was bot at the time, split pushing, and there's nothing that person can do because like unless you place control wards through your entire jungle, like it's impossible to keep like checking for.
The thing is, it's not an issue as much
Well,
in
Twitch can be seen by pink wards, so it's less of an issue.
in solo queue. You tend to have people playing bruises top lane more than straight tanks. In pro play, you tend to have two straight tanks on the team with a lot of CC, who can't really do much on their own. Like you'll see more Orns and stuff like that. Whereas in solo, you'll see Fioras, Aurelias, that kind of thing, Camille's that can defend themselves.
Camille does get played in pro play.
Yeah, she does. For the moment, in fact, Bruce doesn't mostly take top of them.
GP was being picked for a long time.
Wait, isn't? Oh yeah, GP got nerfed recently. I haven't
got-
seen him
yeah.
since.
Gutted.
He's not going to be in the meta for a long time.
He
He's
got
in a
absolutely gutted.
like
They did that thing where they gutted Kleptomancy, gutted it again, and then gutted him at the same time. So now he's
they
just
yeah.
awful.
He's in a really tough spot.
Which is good because he's annoying to play against.
He is.
And all
The meta's
His
also very
scaling was far too
snowbally,
free,
which,
which
yeah.
is why they nerfed him.
and all Gangplank mains started crying and shed a tear.
Hashtag me.
To be fair, he's if you were the one of the people who didn't go Klepto anyway, like if you're in a bad matchup, you take Grasp or something, which does proc on your Q. You didn't really suffer that much from the change. It's just more expensive Qs.
I mean,
Like-
Klepto's not bad on GP. Like, it's still probably the best thing to go, but it's just.
I think you can't take Klepto against Riven and that kind of matchup. You need to take Grasp.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel we've gone through all our points pretty much that we had about the state of the game in its current state.
The state of the game in its
Its
current,
current
state.
state. Yeah, you heard me.
state of the game's not bad actually at the moment. Like the game time reduction's been massive. Most games are over in like 25 minutes now, which is nice again.
And
I also like when the game's in places where there's no 100% you have to ban this champion. I don't think there is any of that right now, especially after the Zoe nerfs. God bless.
Yeah.
Zoe's still good.
She's okay now. I can deal with the Zoe now.
She's at the exact point I wanted her to be the entire time, which is a high skill cap champion that can do damage, but also can be abused.
that's a good sort of kind of segue onto with like priority pick champions. Just quickly, if we run through the roles, what's priority? What should people be prioritizing in both solo queue and in say Newell, like for top lane, jungle, etc. So let's go to top lane first. What's the priority pick? What do you want in your comp, and what champions relate to that?
I'd say engage.
Yeah, CC is always what you want top lane.
I think just pure engage, like even like a Maokai. Like we
Maokai,
played Newell with
Camille.
Maokai and it worked really well. You just
Kled.
put, yeah, Kled. Kled's really good and does a lot of damage.
I'm trying to think. Maokai, Camille, Kled, they're all really good in both solo queue and group play.
What about champions like Malphite and stuff like that?
Malphite's always going to be decent and competitive if you play like wombo comp or anything.
Mm.
It's
Even in
never
solo.
great in solo queue because people just don't like group up properly for it.
I mean, in duo queue, he's completely fine as long as you duoed with the mid laner or support.
Yeah.
Alright, what about jungle, Solomon? As our resident jungle
I would
expert,
say-
but that's a very loose term of the word expert.
I would say
Is Ruben
Warwick.
coming back, by the way? Like, he's just
Wait,
left.
did Ruben go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he disappeared a while ago. I don't know where he went.
Is he
I think
able
he
to join
DC'd.
on his own?
Yeah, he can. I DC'd. I don't hear sounds. Alright, jungle, go.
Alright, in solo and in team play, Warwick is still amazing. Volibear,
Yeah, he is.
because of his recent buffs, is insane.
Udyr is good.
Udyr, I don't have much experience with, but his win rate tells me he's good.
He's good.
Skarner,
I think
even
Nunu's still good. With the right comp, Nunu's still good.
mm,
Um,
not in solo, but in
not in solo
team
yet,
play,
but in pro
maybe.
play, yeah.
Actually, with the removal of the tracker's knife as well, I think that hurts him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Skarner's still
Yeah.
really good, especially Skarner more solo than group play because he's much easier to get the ult picks off with.
He's been
No
picked a
spell,
lot
but
in
you-
pro play though.
Mm.
They're still a few patches behind them, aren't they?
They
Right.
are.
Oh yeah, they don't have the most recent ones.
Um, Me
Zach-
and
Zach.
Even though, yeah,
Zach
even though the bug,
Zach is incredible.
even though the bug has been fixed, Zach is really good right now compared to what he was before. Because
And he's been
aggressive
seeing
junglers just
really high pro level
Yeah,
play.
he's really hard to deal with.
I have a niche pick that I think is really strong in the jungle after
go
having
on.
it tested out.
Ooh.
Ivern.
Mm. I knew that was coming.
There's a new way to play Ivern where you don't counter jungle and you just
Yes,
go pure fucking ganking.
Yeah, there was a
And
dump
Fine.
video
I
on
accidentally
that.
sweared again.
It's only been you. It's not even been Solomon, and you've done it
I am
4
sorry.
times. I'm keeping a.
I
I'm
get
keeping
passionate
count.
about Ivern, okay?
There
Right.
was a video on it from Donkwop about this.
Yep. I
And,
watched the same one.
Yeah. I
But-
disagree. It's not as good as it sounds.
There's another aspect. We were trying it out the other day, and Athene's on Ivern with the heals with his E like so much,
You always went Athene's on Ivan though.
but like it wasn't like that before. I don't know what they've done,
Yeah, it has been.
but
It has. It's been like that
just
for a long time.
ridiculous.
Ivan is another one of those champions that in competitive play is always better.
Yeah.
Because like even like just the like 2 sets
Oh, yeah.
of buffs, that's massive. Like, having 2 red buffs and 2 blue buffs on the same team is just huge.
You can
Yeah, for group play, Rammus and Sejuani are still probably way up there. So is Jarvan.
Yeah,
you can
tanks always
snowball
will
a
be.
game.
I'm not
really
seeing as
good
much
with
Jarvan
Ivern.
in solo queue, and he's just
The way
He
that
just
tanks can get like
lacks too much.
10k health at the
But-
moment is really quite massive actually. Like,
J4 you pick to either lock down the enemy team
yeah.
or to wombo with your team. So that's why he sees more play in pro play.
He's pretty
Because-
safe as well. Like if you get ganked,
Yeah.
if you get counter jungled, you can just EQ out early
He's
game.
currently the third highest played jungler,
Yeah, he's decent.
with Rengar being the highest with a 45% win rate.
Right. And speaking of Rengar, Sol's been trying him. He's really enjoying him, but he's not very good at them. Now, moving on to mid lane.
How is that relevant at all?
Because you mentioned Rengar.
Rengar, I think will come back a bit.
Resident-
when the main come back again.
Resident mid laner, Swifty. Give us 3 picks
You mean
for mid
Swery?
lane. Oh yeah,
Yes,
Swery.
Cass is really strong again. A lot of it's kind of weird because the meta's like really snowbally, but scaling mid laners are really good again. Like they got buffed because of Archangels.
Alright. So, give me 3. You can cast them. Why Cass? And who
Cassiopeia.
else?
Yeah,
Cassiopeia.
no,
Cassiopeia.
Faker
Oh,
said
Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia and Rise.
Cassiopeia, Cassidon will be strong as well. Rise is going to be even stronger.
I imagine Anivia's really good after the mana
Anivia
buffs
is
on
also
items.
really good.
Cassiopeia used to struggle with mana as well, so yeah, she's obviously stronger.
Alright, and one more. Well, you did say Rise, but I'll give you one more. Give me one more pick.
Aurelion Soul.
I
Of
knew that was
course.
coming. I
Right.
knew that was coming.
What about
Moving.
Ari? What about Ari?
Moving.
I think the item changes were really good for her, especially the sock boot changes.
moving
I don't know when they did it, but they made it so it gives you 18 flat pen instead of 15.
I do like the Ari changes, and I did used to play her quite a bit.
Pick her up again. She's really good at running.
Victor OP.
Oh yeah, Victor. Victor. I've been studying a lot of Victor actually recently.
We played Victor a bit actually in Nor and in a invitational.
Yeah. I think he's. I haven't seen him be like absolutely busted, but I've seen him be really good.
Oh, with the changes to mid lane items, you're seeing a lot more like burst mages. So I think Galio and Talon will probably get
Oh,
picked.
Galio.
Oh, yeah, Galio. How
Galio's
do we forget
amazing.
Galio? Galio's so good.
Yeah, Galio is like my second most played now. Like he's so good. Like and you can build him like multiple ways. That's what's great about Galio. Like if you have to build tanky, you can just go. What's the mana item that reduces damage?
Adaptive helm.
Adaptive Helm. You can go that. You can just go for a straight out Leandris first if you want to just go meme.
Oh, the Leandris
But,
change is huge. We didn't
Most
mention
of the
that.
time you do want to go Catalyst on him, but you can build full tank and still do a lot of damage.
Right.
All right.
And like an Aurelion Soul, using Aurelion Soul's E
This is a terrible segue.
to gank. To
Just
gank.
move on to bot lane.
gank level
Oh my
3
God.
down at bot.
Oh my
We'll
God.
be seeing.
You want me to
Snow,
talk about AD carry and support?
Snow. Yeah. Talk both at the same time. Give me all right. Rather than just saying 80 carries, give me a combo. When you say an 80 carry, give me a support which works well with each one. 3. Okay.
3 sets.
Yeah. 3 sets. Go.
I mean,
What's top
So,
tier?
like-
Your top tier. If you go to 80, if you were like, all right, in solo queue, you were like, if I get this, I could probably win the game of just this. I don't need it. I don't even need
Varus
a
and
team.
Lulu.
All right, shut
Yeah,
up.
Varus
Did I
is-
talk to you? Shut up. Right, Josh, carry on.
I was
Varus
going to
and-
say Varus anyway. Lulu's decent. Like all of the like Lulu, Nami, Soraka, they're all still decent. Twitch and those guys as well, pretty good. I think Zyra Khan's going to come stronger again because it's kind of early game again.
Twitch is
Tristana's
rising.
decent. I haven't actually tried Jinx yet. I need to try Jinx more because apparently, like, she's like the highest win rate right now, and I've yet to actually play it.
And you're a former
Um,
Jinx main.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, right, the AD carries at the moment, I don't think there's like the differential between the worst AD carry and the best ADC. I don't think it's that much at the moment. I think they're all pretty decent, like pretty even at the moment.
All right, is there any which is just awful?
Calista, since the changes.
Yeah,
All right.
Callista's
She's,
like absolute dumpster
awful.
tier.
Okay.
Like, I think, like even like Lucian and
Like-
Ezreal, who are like bottom as well, I think have their niches that
Well, I mean,
they're
they-
strong in.
Who's
Whereas-
worse, Callista or Jhin?
Even Ash and Jin. Yeah, but Ash
Well,
and
like,
Jin
Jhin
have got
has, like,
utility.
yeah.
That's the thing.
There is times when
And
Jhin
Jin
is
can
gonna be
bully in
strong
a
in certain
lane.
comps.
So
Yeah, so I think they're
I
all
haven't
pretty.
seen an Ash in so long.
Yeah, but
she's
still
just
always
so
gonna be strong.
redundant.
She-
Like Jin
she's always
really
gonna
made
be
her
okay.
redundant.
No, no, he hasn't. Ash has that stun on her ulti, which means she's always going to be playable, even if she's bad. And she has the poke with her W, meaning she's really
Yeah,
hard
but
to force
you
out of
have
lane.
Jin W that come. Yeah, it does do It is a less like stun duration, but like he can just W so much, and especially with, like pretty much every single champion has CC nowadays. You can just Jin can just W like 5 times in a fight,
Yeah.
whereas Ash can only ult once.
Yeah, but the ult starts the team fight running in. Like you put a Maokai behind an
Anyway.
Ash.
But Jin can ult.
Yeah. Anyway, the point was is that all the ADCs are pretty decent, which you guys have just basically agreed by discussing the worst one in a good tone. I think support is like in competitive, it's going to be like the engage ones as always, like Rakan and Alistair and Braum. And I think in solo queue though, we're getting like I'm seeing a lot of like enchanter supports come back, like Brand. Brand I've seen dumpster people because he's so strong with the new Leandres. Yeah,
Sweet.
like the combos are just gonna be like Twitch hyper carry and whatever, and then Varus and whatever, and then Zyra and Rakan.
But you're saying the brand, right? But what I don't understand is if like these hyper carries are still relevant and still good, right? Surely you'd want like Lulu or Janna, someone who can just peel for these champs and just stick to them. Brand is a bit.
Games are averaging about 25-30 minutes now, so your
Yeah.
hyper carry only gets to like 3 items at that point.
It's
Tom's-
actually like better to go full engage versus a Brand with a hyper carry than it is to like go Lulu, because Lulu will also die one shot. Like if you go like Alistair against a Brand and you've got a Twitch, you'll still be able to kill the Brand quicker than he could probably kill you.
And if the enemy team has 2 tanks, the Brand is going to outdamage even a Twitch. Maybe
Yeah.
even almost keep up with the Cogmore.
Yeah, I'm starting to see enchanter supports come back, which is interesting. I think that'll encourage more early game champions. Maybe Lucian. Like if they picked a Lux, for example, and I picked a Lucian, that game would be a lot easier for me than if I picked, say, Twitch.
I feel like when Brand Zyra come back, that means Blitz is going to come back.
Oh god, I hate Blitz.
I know, I saw.
I hate Blitz.
What was that, 3-9 in a low gold game?
Right. Wait.
Sorry, weren't you 2-11?
What-
in the
what-
next
Yeah,
one?
but I was playing support, not
What,
my main role.
what
playing a
account?
tank
What
support.
account was this on?
My gold one.
Was this Lambroth?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. 1 second.
Are you pulling up his OPGG on stream or something?
Yep.
Why? That's so rude. I thought you weren't bullying this stream.
Oh, I'm about to end it, so I feel this is a good thing to go off on. There we go. Look at those juicy. I mean, the Fiora stat kind of softens the blow a bit, but I mean,
Yeah, my Draven.
We need to talk about King of the North.
yeah, no, I was gonna do that. I was gonna get onto that, but you guys, I ask a question and you guys just go on stuff. I'm like, oh, this sounds good. I'll leave it. I'll allow it.
Can you please bring up the in that last the most recent game? Can you look at my support, please?
Who's your support?
Look at that, the support out-damaged the mid laner. What a guy.
Yeah, the mid laner was useless too. I'll give you that.
Team analysis.
man, You were like, yeah, we're gonna absolutely dumpster this game because I'm playing support, and then you just like did nothing. You missed every single E.
What?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 7 loss, right? Streak.
Oh yeah, this has not been... There was two
Yeah, this is why I lost.
2 games with Nick that I lost yesterday, then 3 with Josh today. Funnily
We've only
enough,
played 2 games.
the common factor was Draven in every game.
I
Right.
don't think I was the issue.
Oh no, I'm not saying you were, I'm just saying there was a Draven in
The common factor in both my games was both my supports sucking ass.
Okay.
That's why I played
You
Fiora
went
Moe.
3-8 in one game on your own, but that has nothing to do with your support.
Right.
It
And
was a Janna who inted.
okay, stop. Right. To finish up, we'll have a quick talk about King of the North. King of the North
Ooh,
is
there's a
coming
rotating
around.
image there. That's cool. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
no,
that.
it is quite cool. So I'll do that so you can see it. So it's 17th to 18th of March. Is the actual event. Qualifiers. Last qualifier is this weekend. I don't know if you can still enter, but if you can,
You can.
check up.
It's
So
You can
till
till 9 o'clock
tomorrow
tomorrow.
evening.
yeah, right.
I'm
So
gonna pass on that.
enter in it.
It's
Yeah, but
UoS.
no one wants you there. Right.
Novi, you're on my team,
What was that?
You're on
Yeah.
my team,
That's
you
what I
Someone
thought.
could have
silly
Um,
person.
So, yeah, qualifiers this weekend on the Saturday. Come check our stream, UoS Esports, this stream, because we will be streaming League, right?
It's bad. Go to the official.
Yeah, we're streaming League. And
So we will be on the front page of
UOM
Twitch.
is on
Is that right?
Overwatch. No, Overwatch is on. It's always UOM that's on.
Oh, wow.
If they're partnered and we're not.
I tried.
We're just affiliates.
Anyway, we get League, so you'll be greeted
League.
by the
We get Ollie shouts.
the phenomenal Ollie shouts and the
Yep.
even more amazing Saga. I'm finally getting used to that name.
Saga.
So yeah, check it out.
Sega.
Tickets as well. 10 tickets for £10, so £1 per ticket, or straight up £3. Come on down. It'll be sweet. Anyway, on that note, I'd like to say
AGM.
yeah, Silver Students
AGM.
14th of March. Come along. It'll be
So if you'd like to run for social sec or wellbeing officer or treasurer or the new potential role content creation,
that's
feel free to
mine.
come down.
Do not go for it.
And if you want to go for chairman, you can.
Yeah, kick out Josh.
I mean, you can try.
I would love like someone comes up and is like just a dark horse and like
Just an absolute randomer that nobody's like
thought of,
nobody would think of that would.
and we're like, yeah, let's vote in that person. Anyway,
Just
Vote-
like Rusty.
That's fine.
Vote-
Rusty comes in and
vote-
just goes.
I would vote for Rusty over Josh, definitely. Sorry,
Go for
Saga. Sorry, Saga.
Imagine Ben winning the vote as the chairman.
Ah, shudders.
Is Ben even going to run for it?
No,
I mean, I
don't
hope
think
he
He's
he
not
is.
going to show up to it.
I mean,
He's
no, he's so
showed
eager. He's so eager that he showed up yesterday to it.
Shots fired.
Oh god. He showed up 2 weeks early to it. He's just got a tent in the room.
He's actually still waiting there as well.
He's rocking in the corner like, I will be chairman. I will be
I'm
chairman. I will
absolutely
be
bringing it up on
chairman.
the day. Oh my god, there's a...
Can we bring up this clip and play it at the AGM when he's there? Anyway, yeah. So AGM 14th Rose Parks room from what time? 7 is it or 6:30?
It's not the Rosa Parks room, it's the Lewis Latimer room.
Lewis Latimer
From-
room.
I put 6:30. I'm not sure if I'll make it there already, but you know.
He's going for well-being, I think. So
Aren't you also going for well-being, Joe?
I am, yes.
we might
And
actually
I'm a
get some
joke.
contestant. I am pushing Dylan towards social sex. I think it'd be really
I
good.
see
at that.
Kieran is
So-
stepping down as.
He's not.
well-being.
He's not going to
Kieran's
be.
have a
graduating, you moron.
Oh yeah, exactly. Stepping down.
You idiot.
I
Right.
wanted to be on the committee, and I was weighing up each one, and well-being's the best one for me.
Wait, Joe,
Maybe
aren't you a
best one.
third year student?
No, I'm a second year.
What the fuck? Oh,
Oh my god.
I was
Right,
doing so
fine.
well.
Like 5 minutes left.
And on that note, I would like to say thank you for my guest, Ruben, who's not here. But thank you for
Lost
joining
but not
us.
forgotten.
Last one not forgotten. I've left up the Zinzal, so just imagine this is.
Can we just shop his face onto that, please? Does anyone have a picture?
Oh, can we?
Uh,
I have him on Facebook.
Oh, put his lolly Discord picture on it on Zinzal's.
no.
He'll make that his new Discord picture.
Aye, 5 minutes. I'm doing this myself.
Right.
Zinzal.
Could you send me
Hey.
your progress?
I will. I'm just gonna. You'll enjoy this.
Can you just quickly just alright? Okay, I can't. I was gonna end the stream there, but do I really have to wait until you're done? Anyway, let's roll through. Thank you, Snowblind, for coming on. Always a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, as always.
Yeah. Thank you, Swifty, as well.
No problem.
With your insight. Thank you.
Am I swearing?
Thank you, Solomon. I mean, I don't really want to thank him. He's a bit useless.
I was told I wouldn't be bullied today. This is why I'm. This is
I
why
mean,
I'm
you were
going to
told by
Manchester.
him,
Next...
No,
Not by
you
the
were
rest of
told
us.
that you wouldn't be bullying other people. not
This
that
is
you
why
were
I'm
bullying
going to
other
Manchester next year.
You can't get into Manchester.
Right. I'm being messaged about PUBG, so that we might be doing a PUBG stream right after this.
people. Oh,
Maybe.
Wait, no spook stream?
No, I've done one today. That's it.
You did like 20 minutes of
What do you
spook.
mean 20 minutes? That was
mean,
well longer than 20 minutes.
It
Wait,
felt
hold on.
longer than 20 minutes.
Hold on. Yeah, no, my heart was like going it. Let me find out how long it was actually on for.
Make sure you end the stream, but if you're doing another one, so that we can split them up easily.
Yeah, no, we'll do. I'm just gonna check how long. Five Nights at Freddy's was 41 minutes
courtesy,
and 15 seconds long. Thank you very much.
That's
Me
great.
too,
buddy.
dude.
Yeah.
You went 41 minutes without letting yourself. I'm impressed.
Yeah, apart from the end. Check out those clips, by the way. Yeah, are you done with this thing? Because I want to shut the stream down.
Oh, I will send it to the Salford Discord, so you can shut the stream down now.
Okay, alright.
It can be the start of your next stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will see you in the next... Oh, that didn't go as big as I wanted it to go. Right.
That's what she said.
That was awful. Like...
A
There
user
we
has
go.
disconnected.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.